conducts regular business meetings on at least a monthly basis. And whereas when required by the New York Open Meetings Law, the board opens said meetings to the public. And whereas it is the understanding of the board that neither New York nor federal law, including the New York Constitution and the United States Constitution, require that the board allow public participation at said meetings. And whereas nevertheless, it has heretofore been the practice of the board to conduct a public comment period at the beginning of said meetings, allowing members of the public to address the board on whatever topics the speakers have chosen. And whereas it has also been the practice of the town board to conduct advertised public hearings at the beginnings of said meetings. And whereas prior to the latter half of 2012, said public comment periods were generally limited in scope, of reasonable duration, and were not disruptive to the orderly consideration of town business by the board. And whereas the topic of natural gas extraction and hydraulic fracturing, collectively fracking, has become a matter of contention in parts of upstate New York, including the town of Sanford, with numerous persons aligned in favor of fracking and numerous other persons aligned in opposition thereto. And whereas beginning in or around the summer of 2012, opponents and proponents of fracking began to attend the board meetings in large numbers and to speak at length during the public comment periods concerning the issue. And whereas the public comment at the board meetings regarding fracking tended to be extremely emotional, contentious, repetitive, and lengthy, resulting in great disruption in the board meetings and preventing the board from attending to its regular business until late in the evening. And whereas the board concluded that further discussion of the matter at board meetings was not productive, particularly in light of the moratorium on fracking imposed by executive order of former New York State Governor David A. Patterson, which moratorium was extended by executive order of current Governor Andrew M. Cuomo. And whereas at its meeting on September 11, 2012, in light of the foregoing, the board adopted a resolution providing that no further comment on the topic would be received at board meetings until such time as the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation were to complete its environmental review of fracking, but also providing that the board would consider written material on the topic. And whereas the board adopted a aforesaid resolution after obtaining legal advice regarding the issue, and believes that the policy reflected in the resolution is a valid time, place, and manner restriction on speech. And whereas on February 12, 2013, the Natural Resource Defense Council and the Catskill Citizens for Safe Energy instituted a civil action against the town in the United States District Court for the Northern District of New York, alleging that the aforesaid resolution and policy violate the First Amendment to the United States Constitution, which action remains pending. And whereas the town has answered the complaint denying liability, and whereas the town believes that it has a substantial likelihood of prevailing in the litigation, but has concluded that the cost to defend the action will be prohibited. And whereas the town has decided to avoid further litigation by action set forth herein. Now, therefore be it resolved that the aforesaid resolution adopted by the town board on September 11, 2012, be, and the same hereby is rescinded, and it is further resolved that the henceforth public participation at board meetings will be permitted by the board as follows. 1. Except for public hearings duly designated as such by action of the town board, public participation at meetings of the town board shall be limited to the public participation segment of the agenda of the town board meetings. 2. The town board will continue to conduct public hearings at the beginning of the meetings. The open public comment period will be held after the conclusion of the town's regular business meetings. 3. Public comment will be allowed on any topic reasonably related to the purpose of any public hearing or legitimate town business, including fracking. 4. The board reserves the right to limit comments by any individual speaker to 3 minutes if, in the judgment and sole discretion of the board, it determines that the comments are repetitive of comments and points that have already been made, by the same or other speakers, and/or that the comments are not helpful to the board's understanding of the topic being discussed. An individual's time may not be given or traded to other speakers or reserved for other portions of the meeting. 5, comments should be directed to the board, not to other members of the public. Attendees may not address the town board unless recognized by the supervisor or other presiding officer. Discussion between speakers and attendees of the public meeting or hearing are prohibited. Notwithstanding the foregoing, a speaker may disagree with or support prior speakers and comments directed to the town board. 6, banners, flyers, or other signs are not permitted in the meeting room. Distribution of flyers in the meeting room is also not permitted. 7, while the board recognizes that public debate, particularly regarding matters of contention, can be vigorous, emotional, and boisterous, the board will not tolerate ethnic or racial slurs or personal slanderous, impertinent, inflammatory, threatening, abusive, obscene, profane, or disrespectful comment or behavior by speakers. Whether such inappropriate behavior is directed towards a board member, town officials, members of the public, or the persons, the board shall, at its sole discretion, retain the right to determine what comment or conduct is appropriate and what is not, and reserves the right to prevent further comment by individuals who, in the board's judgment, have expressed or engaged in inappropriate comment or conduct. 8, the supervisor or the presiding officer shall control the meeting. The use of personal slanders, inflammatory, threatening, abusive, obscene, profane, disrespectful comment, language, or racial or ethnic slurs directed at the supervisor, members of the town board, town officials or employees, and members of the general public, or statements by a person attending the meeting which are not made during the public participation segment of the agenda or during a public hearing shall not be tolerated. 9, if the supervisor or the presiding officer fails to enforce the rules set forth above, any member of the town board may move to require him or her to do so. An affirmative vote of a majority of the town board shall require him or her to do so. Any decision relating to the enforcement of the rules set forth above may be appealed and overturned by a vote of a majority of the town board members. 10, any person who disregards the directive of the supervisor or the presiding officer in enforcing the rules, or who generally conducts himself or herself in a boisterous or inappropriate manner while addressing the board, disturbs the peace at any meeting, will be barred from further participation and forfeit any balance of time remaining for his or her comments. 11, if a speaker who has violated these rules refuses to step down, the supervisor or presiding officer may ask for the individual to be removed from the meeting room and charged with disorderly conduct as per the penal law. 12, if and when it appears that large numbers of speakers have arrived at a meeting, the board to discuss a particular topic, and that the comment period for said topic is likely to be lengthy, the board reserves the right, giving due regard to the probable length of the discussion and the likely length of the board's regular business session, to end the meeting without receiving said comment, and to schedule a special meeting reasonably soon thereafter to receive said comment. In such instances, the board will endeavor to do so, inform that likely participants in the discussion as early as it's practical during a meeting.